BBC News.
Well, Alice Driver was on a flight ready to take off at Mexico City's main airport when the earthquake struck. She joins me now from the U.S. state of Arkansas, so you did eventually get out. But just explain that moment. You're on a plane, and then what happened?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I was on the airplane at the Mexico City airport on the runway, and we were actually just slowly moving forward to go towards taking off when suddenly I thought maybe a wheel had fallen off the plane. The plane just tilted, to one side and then to another. And then when I looked out the window, I saw the entire structure of the airport shaking and people pouring out all the exits. So I knew what was happening.
This is an area that has suffered earthquakes before. What was different about this one?
Well, I've experienced several earthquakes living in the city, and it's interesting because this one was technically a little bit less strong than the one that happened on September 7th. But for me, it's the strongest earthquake that I felt, and I knew in my bones when it happened that people were going to die, which is a terrible feeling, when you don't know what's happening out in the city, but you know that it's bad.
It's the lack of communication. We're hearing some distressing stories. I don't know if they've been confirmed, of some children trying to use WhatsApp to message people outside collapsed buildings. It's the following hours, isn't it, where the panic really sets in?
Yeah, the panic set in. Even on the plane, panic set in because, electricity went out in a lot of the city. Internet was not working well, even on the plane. Most people didn't have internet. I had patchy internet, which I shared, opened a Wi-Fi hotspot and shared with my seatmates. They were trying to get in touch with their children. They're crying. They're trying to leave voice messages. So there were some real, and then we were sometimes when the internet was working, we received videos of buildings collapsing. And so you feel a sense of helplessness. And when something like that happens, and they wouldn't let us off the plane, so we were there for hours.
But you did eventually. You were one of the few planes to actually get away. I'm just wondering how you feel now in Arkansas, looking at the pictures coming out of the city where you were just hours ago.
I feel pretty destroyed in a lot of ways. I obviously am not. I didn't see the worst of it by any means, but seeing friends and videos of friends and family and their family members of what they're going through is really hard, and I wish I was there in solidarity, but I will be back in a few days. I actually just had come home to visit my parents. So,
Alice, I can tell it's difficult to talk about it, and I really appreciate your time joining us here on BBC News. Alice Driver, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.